Silver is the biggest con that you could ever invest in. It's what quite a few people think. I beg to differ, but there are certainly some things that you need to be aware of if you want to buy silver. Hello everybody, Backyard Bullion here, and thank you for joining me for this rambling style video on what I think is going to be a very divisive topic, that silver is just a big con. Is it a money pit? I think that there's a little bit of evidence for both. I do think that you need to practice some care and attention when investing in physical silver as to your own circumstances. So that's going to be the underlying theme of what you need to think about for this video. Love to know what you think though, so comment down below, hit the like button as we go through if you enjoy my discussion on this interesting topic. So the reason I'm talking about it is because silver prices being where they are right now, there's a lot of talk about how good silver is and how people are making a lot of money on their silver, and it's of course drawing more people in. People are looking at silver as that potential huge explosive investment. You know, you can buy it now at, well, the spot price is £22 an ounce. If you can buy your silver for £25 an ounce, and then it will shoot to a £50 an ounce price point, you can sell it and make a lot of money. It's not quite as easy as that. And also, there's quite a lot of issues about buying silver from dealers or from mints directly and then releasing the assets and selling them. And often people have seen and will comment that you buy from a dealer, you might buy these US Eagles. In the USA, it's a prime example. The Eagles you can buy right now will be $35, $40 an ounce, even more sometimes, depending on the dealer. And the new Eagles that are coming out are probably going to garner some even more higher premiums. But then you look at some of the buyback prices on these big dealers' websites, and you just cry a little inside because they'll be offering you spot plus 5%. If you're lucky, some dealers might offer a little more. There are going to be some good ones out there, but the majority of these big businesses, these big dealers, they have you over a barrel. They want you to sell the silver that you have to them at dirt cheap prices so they can take advantage of the people that are out there in this world who want to buy US Eagles at $35, $40 an ounce. So that is, in my eyes, pretty good evidence to say that silver's a bit of a con. You know, we look at it here in the UK as well. Buying directly from the Royal Mint is, for silver anyway, a bit of a pitfall, bit of a trap, because you buy your silver at a premium anyway, and then there's VAT applied on it, and if you buy just singles of coins, even from dealers or the Royal Mint, you'll be paying way in excess of what you need. And there was a person who was commenting down on one of my videos about how they bought some silver coins from a UK coin dealer, and they paid £40 an ounce for Britannia's. £40 an ounce. It's close to double for just a bog standard coin that's not unique in any way. And you kind of look at that and you say, well, if you're going to sell that straight away, if you're going to, need to release your funds from it, you're going to be stung. You really are, because dealers will be offering spot price, maybe a touch above spot price with the current market at the moment for, just raw silver for the coins. They're a business at the end of the day. They are there to make money. They do not act as a public service, and that's something that a lot of people need to look at. So what's the point then of buying silver? Is it just a big con? A lot of these big dealers' websites will have huge articles and very well publicized articles or social media accounts talking about how amazing silver is and the potential for silver to be an amazing return of on investment, and it's all a little bit salesy, and people will constantly read these and go, yeah, look, it's going to be amazing. And people then come to YouTube and see various silver videos from big investors or big money makers. There are a lot of people out there, by the way, on YouTube that will make videos saying that silver is the best thing since sliced bread and it's going to make you a fortune. Always, always, always make the right decisions that's right for you. Silver is a very risky investment, especially over a short period of time. It is not something for the light of heart to get into. Certainly physical silver. If you want to have a position within silver or gold and you don't really know much about the physical world, then definitely think about just buying paper silver, because it's going to be volatile, but it's going to be less of a swing. The whole point of owning physical stuff is to protect your wealth physically in the event of something not going right in the world. Now, of course, this year has seen a lot not going right, and we are seeing some improvements in the prices of silver, but it does seem that silver's on a little bit of a precipice right now. It's on a cliff edge. We are looking at it and we are saying to ourselves that it's going to go up further, and there's a lot of people that will say that, and there's a lot of bullion dealers with social media accounts which will say that as well, but there's no guarantees of that happening. There's absolutely no way that anybody can know what is going to happen. There's a lot of talk about the US elections that are going to have a huge impact on silver prices. Even if Biden wins, Trump, love him or hate him, he is providing interesting discourse within politics, within the global economies around the world, and it's going to be a very interesting period of time, to say the least, is my honest opinion. So there's a lot of unknowns about the near future, and of course the midterm future as well, with everything that's going on in the world and the economic fallout from that. There is evidence to say that silver should be or could be going up even further. But what I don't think is appropriate is to just go all in on silver and make it your only asset. It should be part of a very diverse portfolio, and I think that's the thing that makes me say that silver is not a big con. There are a lot of things in place that you could argue that make silver a bad buy right now, but at the same time there are a lot that say it can be very good. But I do think it is down to individual circumstances. I personally don't agree with buying silver as the only asset that you should have. I think gold, personally, is the preferable asset of the two. It's so much less volatile, and it's also got a lot lower of a swing. Now, part of the biggest con around silver, and this is going to be my rant and moan part of the video, is around taxes, around sales taxes, is around premiums on bog standard silver. Now, that's going to sound, for some of you out there who've been following my channel for a long time, you'll know that I pour my own silver, I make my own silver items, and these are not in the same category as bullion. This really nice kilo Rolo here is just nowhere in the same category as Eagles, for example. And for these generic coins, and I am going to put in, Eagles as generic coins, whether they're coins, rounds, or just simple mass-produced items, I guess is my point. To have huge taxes and premiums on top of them is always going to be a risk, and it is probably the biggest pitfall for new people, new buyers out there, especially when you start to get into the realms of more limited edition premium coins like Lunar Series and various things from different mints. These are meant to be held for a long time. They're not meant to be held for a short time. And the premiums and taxes that are attracted by silver over that longer period of time should balance out, but it is not an easy game, and taxes on silver are coming in more countries around the world. You're seeing various US states imposing sales taxes on distance selling or on just general selling of silver or precious metals. So it's certainly, the taxes is a really interesting one, isn't it? A lot of people hate taxes. I personally don't mind paying taxes. I like to contribute to society. And I know a lot of people who are watching this will be, of the mind that taxes are evil and taxes are unconstitutional. But, I prefer to pay my taxes and have a functioning society than everybody not pay their taxes and we all live in a Mad Max world. That's not what I want from my life. So I'm quite happy to contribute. But at the same time, I don't feel happy about the fact that there is tax on metal, on silver. And one thing that we've got coming up in the United Kingdom is a cliff edge. There is a big cliff edge at the moment, and I do think the argument can be made that after the end of this year, after the end of December, when the Brexit transition period ends and we lose any ability to buy silver from Europe at advanced rates of VAT, it will mean that this stuff here becomes a dead metal, in my opinion. It will be a waste of money to buy bullion grade silver from Royal Mints and from other places, and that is absolutely nothing to do with the manufacturers, nothing to do with the Royal Mint. It's down to the fact that the UK and other countries around the world will make themselves incredibly less competitive for silver and silver products, and that's just going to hurt individuals. One of the things that I have said so many times before, that these metals that we buy, these coins, these items, whether they're hand-poured silver, whether they're just big giant bars or premium coins, they are investments in the future. They are saving mechanisms for people to preserve wealth. And in my opinion, that should be encouraged by governments, because the amount of benefits that are being flooded out there to the masses, the amount of money that's just being turfed out to economies to try and stabilize them and save them, anything that a private individual can do to improve their financial situation in the future should be encouraged. It should be, heralded as something that's good to do. And there are incentives out there for saving, tax breaks on pension contributions and things like that. But the fact that these metals are just disregarded and used as an industrial item, it's even like coins which have UK designations from the Royal Mint, they're capital gains tax exempt, although there are talks in the works about changing the capital gains allowances, which, whilst isn't going to eliminate the capital gains tax-free element for these coins, again, the question is there about whether or not it will be still capital gains exempt in the future. So there's a lot to consider about silver, and I do think that we're on a precipice not only for potential explosions of prices and also potentially going down in prices again. We're about to experience big second waves, and I do think there's going to be lockdowns. Again, there's already local lockdowns for various regions here in the UK, and I think there's going to be more to come, more hardship to come. There's going to be huge layoffs and job shortages come October when the furlough scheme ends. I do know from a previous life when I was working in offices and things doing business management and things like that, that there's a lot of talk from old colleagues that I know that they're ramping up for big redundancies, and that's all they're doing right now, and it's a really sad state of affairs. There's going to be hardship, and we all know what happened when things hit the fan the first time round back in March. Silver plummeted down. Premium stayed high, but silver spot price plummeted down. And the recovery is going to be topsy-turvy. It's going to be up and down and all over the place, to be honest. And I think nobody truly knows. So back to my original statement. Is silver a big con? It's a difficult one. I think if you've got the disposable income to lock away and you've got the cash that you're not worried about locking away for 10 years, then silver, in my opinion, can still be a very good purchase. It'll become less of an attractive purchase post-Brexit, and I think the market for second-hand items will be very good. So if you've got silver right now, and if you've got these right now, my personal opinion is not selling anything right now, because come January, February, March next year, I think things like this will just be exceptionally in demand on the second-hand market, and there'll be people queuing up to buy these type of things. But I do think that there is an element that silver is dying a slow death. It's becoming... But it's a converse one, because there's a lot of people who don't think that. It really is interesting. My personal opinion is I think the long term has got to be gold. It's got to be gold. Where does that leave me in terms of purchases for silver going forward? I'm steering clear of things like this. I am buying second-hand item silver. I've recently been buying a bunch of old peace dollars that have been coming up for sale on second-hand on the Silver Forum, which is a fantastic place to buy decent price silver. They often beat dealers' prices quite considerably. And things like this, in my opinion, have a lot more potential for growth down the line. I think older world silver, going back into that period of history which has got some interesting looks and feels to it, is, in my opinion, going to provide a potentially better return over time than modern day bullion that's got huge premiums and taxes attached to it. So that's my strategy going forward. Of course, I've got a dual kind of strategy, because I have to buy certain amounts of raw 999 silver for my poured silver business. And, the future of that is going to be very interesting to look at and think about going forwards. How am I going to be able to be competitive in a market where there's huge taxes on the raw materials that we buy? There's already enough barriers at the moment with producing anything made of silver from your own force of will. You have to have things assay tested and hallmarked. There's so many other hurdles for businesses in the UK right now about registration for taxes and VAT and thresholds for turnover and upfront manufacturing costs and just so many other things. It is quite interesting to think about. I'm not overly concerned about the future. It's partly why I've got all of these kind of old coins here as well. I've always said, and I've said for a very long time actually, that what I do for a living right now in terms of pouring silver and making videos here on YouTube, this is all a dream, it's all fantastic to do, but at the end of the day, if it all kind of goes pear-shaped, I do have a lot of just generic coins. I could almost start up as a fledgling dealer. Whether I would want to is another question, and that's, in fact, that's the last point I want to make. All of these issues, all of these things that are causing people to think that silver is potentially a bad thing to buy is going to stifle the potential for new businesses to come up. It's going to make it incredibly difficult for, I mean, I've always said for anybody who's out there wanting to pour silver and make it a hobby business, it is one of the most rewarding things that you can do. It is absolutely amazing. I feel absolutely incredibly lucky to have got started when I did, because starting something right now, starting a poured silver business right now is going to be so expensive. It's going to be so difficult. And of course, the branding is important. The validity of your silver and the assay testing of your silver is critical if you're going to actually try and make a go of it. And if you are going to just sell generic stuff with no hallmarks, whether it be bars and things that are exempt, then, good luck to you, my friend, because it's going to be tough, I think, for the long term, and more so with the tumultuous roller coaster ride that we're seeing right now in the market. So, in summary, in conclusion to my little self-debate that I have had here, is silver a big con? No, I think that there's a lot of benefit to be had from owning physical silver, and personally for me, I always have a little bit of regret every time I sell a piece of my own poured silver, because physical silver is going out the door to a customer. I have less physical silver in my life. That's a business, though. I have to put that to one side, separate church from state, and have what I then keep for my own stack, for my own possession. And silver, I do think, has a place still. Whether you agree, I would love to know. So please do let me know down in that comment section. I know this has been a little bit of a longer kind of rambling style video, but I do think there's a lot of merit to be had about this, and a lot of people out there will just say that silver is the best, and there's a lot of headline videos out there right now saying silver's going to go to $1,000 an ounce, gold $5,000 an ounce, all of that. I'm much more of a real-world pragmatist, and whilst I can agree that there's a lot of potential for growth, I do think that there's also a lot of potential for stagnation and the just not going catapulting up to untold heights. Now, of course, I'm filming this video a couple of days in advance, and at the moment the silver price is all static. Of course, it could completely change by the time this video goes live, so please bear with me if that has happened. Otherwise, comment down below, thumbs up. Thank you all for watching. I hope you have a fantastic week ahead. And as always, please make sure that you like, share, comment, and subscribe for more.